Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just, I hate that I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, be in a great war, maybe with a Mexican. I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you.
Perfect play, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Gringo!
Hey!
What's up, brother? How are you?
Man, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to everybody.
And you know what's even better?
Salute.
We have a day off tomorrow as well, so
what?
I'm loving it, brother.
Man, it's living the dream right now. Salute Clarence McLean.
Salute Clarence
McLean. Brother. Thank you so much. And let's get to it, man. So we
Any voicemails?
Oh, yeah, we definitely got a voicemail. Let's go ahead and start with our first voicemail. Let's pull it up here. All right, let's see what we got. Hopefully it's not too crazy.
Or troll.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Love the show. LongLiveBoxing and EnVivo. What are you guys' thoughts on the Valdez afternoon fight yesterday? The main event was a letdown, but pretty good action. Y'all keep up the good work. Good stuff, Hopper.
I think he's talking about the DAZN fights yesterday in England.
Yeah, man. So let's get to it. What's your thoughts?
And Lada and Warrington, the rematch. Before I talk about the main event, talk about the overall card. I was actually I enjoyed the whole card. I'm talking about all of them. Giovanni Strafon, Maxie Hughes, even Ebony Bridges, the blonde bomber. I kind of felt that she lost that fight, but they gave it to her anyways, which was bogus. I'm calling those donkey judges of the week. The Maxie Hughes and Giovanni Strafon one was pretty good. Giovanni Strafon, Mexicano, Impacto. He started off well, but then just got caught. Maxie Hughes caught him in the third round, and it seemed like he never recovered from that. And Maxie Hughes, he was boxing really well, man. He was short, compact, stuck his jab, was in and out, didn't stay at mid range where Strafon wanted him to be there. But that was a good fight. Maxie Hughes won that one, clear decision. Conor Benn, Adrian Granados. And that was, this isn't even the co-main event. This is how stacked this card was. I was really impressed by Conor Benn, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do it, Gringo. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to put Conor Benn as one of the hot prospects to go alongside Boots and Virgil Ortiz. I was impressed by him this time around. I think Conor Benn. I'm a believer in Conor Benn now, especially considering the way he performed yesterday against Adrian Granados, because you know how Adrian Granados is very sneaky, very tough. He gave Sean Porter all he could handle. He's been in some great fights, and Conor Benn, it really wasn't much of a struggle for him. At times it looked like Granados didn't want no part of it, and that's the thing I love about Conor Benn that separates him from a lot of the other British fighters, is that he's willing to engage. Like, he wants to engage. He wants to smoke. And it seemed like Granados was on his bike for a majority of the fight because he felt Conor Benn's power. There were a few times where he tasted Conor Benn's power and he wanted no part of it, of exchanging with him. So Conor Benn really impressed me yesterday. I was impressed with him. He's a very emotional guy. At the end of the fight, he was pretty pissed that Granados didn't want to exchange anymore. So shout out to you, Conor Benn. Good stuff. Katie Taylor, she decisioned Jennifer Han. She retained her undisputed crown. We'll talk about Katie Taylor, what the future holds for her, and who would you want to see her fight, Gringo. She pretty much she was in control of the whole fight. She dropped Jennifer Han in the 8th round. But credit to Jennifer, though. She's 38. Her last fight was like 3 years ago, and she became a mother twice during that time period. So this shot came out of nowhere for her. And Katie Taylor was expected to win, and she did. She was pretty much in control of the whole fight. And that was the co-main event. And the main event was a little anticlimactic. You know, we're bleeding up, watching all the cards, getting excited for the main event, the rematch. I loved how Mauricio Lara came out. Viva Mexico, Viva! You should have seen me sing right alongside him. And when the fight started, I'm thinking, okay, here we go. And then the headbutt happened, the cut happened, and the fight was stopped. Technical draw. I think that's what the official result was. And Josh Warrington's corner, they were pointing at their heart towards Lara, which I thought was kind of, I mean, I understand you're frustrated, but to say the man doesn't have heart, it was a nasty, nasty cut right above his eye. I'm positive. Do you think Lara wanted to continue, or what do you think?
No, I definitely had, no doubt in my mind that Lara wanted to continue. So touching on a few things that you said. First, going back to as far as Ben, I agree. Like, he showed me a lot of positive things as far as his aggression, his ability. Like, he has a real vicious right hand, and I like the way he presses the action. Like, he's extremely aggressive. Like, he wants to smoke like throughout the fight. At the end, he was like almost about to explode. And you're right, Granado's like, he would throw like a combination, but no more than 3. He didn't want to exchange too long. You could tell he felt the power.
He felt that power.
That said, I do feel that Granados was, like you said, because he's sneaky and slick and able to get those shots in there. He did get a lot of shots off, and
Definitely.
like Ben did show he could get hit. So I agree with you. I feel Conor Ben showed me a lot as far as, I think he has a style that could easily translate overseas.
Very entertaining style.
Yeah, be extremely entertaining. Like, he brings a lot of excitement to 147.
He wants to
and
fight.
I do agree he separates a lot of the UK fighters.
Yeah, he's not your typical UK fighter.
Now, question for you, because I don't want to let you off the hook, my brother, but now you said that you put him in the same echelon as far as like Virgil Ortiz,
up and coming prospects,
Rashidi Ellis.
Not on that level in terms of talent or just, but I mean, he's there. He's one rising prospect. I gotta give him his credit.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, as far as Katie Taylor, she did win the fight. I will say that at 35 years old now, that she showed some vulnerability.
Yes,
is that fair to say? Han showed a lot of her tenacity. I even gave Han a few rounds.
Mm-hmm.
She moved up. She went off a layoff. Like you said, she'd had 2 children.
Years.
She went up two weight classes. And to say she was not outclassed at all. I mean, if anything, she held her own. And I think she was very formidable in definitely several moments of that fight. So, props to her for sure. And as far as the main event, I'll go ahead and say it, man. Like, that shows you how entertaining that card was, because even though the main event was 2 rounds, I learned a lot. Like, I'll go ahead and say it.
Right.
I think that Lara
looked.
He fights Warrington, and I'm sorry, UK, if you guys are listening. I take Lara 10 times out of 10, man.
When the third match happens, I think I'm gonna go with Lara as well. It looked even in the first round, it looked like Lara was landing the more powerful shots, and in the second, I felt like he was already comfortable in his groove. And the way Warrington fights is he has that style where he rushes in and throws that head all wild, and a lot of the UK guys do that. Even in this card, Maxie Hughes was constantly like, he'd throw a punch and then hold, clinch and hold, and that fighting style is for one. That's why the cuts happen. And for 2, sometimes it's not really entertaining. And Conor Ben doesn't fight that way.
Right.
He's ready. He has, shall I say, a little Mexican style in him where he just wants to fight. Like, let's go, let's throw down. And he gets tagged because of his eagerness to exchange. So, but yeah, Mauricio Lara, Warrington, even if it was only 2 rounds, I enjoyed the 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So, and the part 3 definitely has to happen. I think Papa Hearn was talking about sometime 2022. Well, he's going to need a lot of time, right? What do you think? How much time he's going to need?
Yeah, I mean, as bad as for those that didn't see it, the cut was nasty. It needed to be stopped. There's
Left
nothing
eye,
about questioning,
all
about
this,
not his heart.
all this right here was just
right over the eyelid. I mean, you have to stop that. It's a doctor stop.
You can't at that point. Yeah, you can't see anything that's coming from your opponent's right. When that cut is that bad, your side is you don't have any visibility.
So I'm thinking honestly, the fight has to happen. I'm thinking 6 months minimum.
Just to recover.
Just to recover. I think Warrington, honestly, and I think Papa Hearn is not, he knows what he's doing. Get Warrington another fight in between them, because within that, I mean, people can say if they want. I know the announcers were obviously, we expect that. They're
very
obviously
biased.
They're
very biased.
Yeah, it happens.
All the fights, the commentary was extremely biased. Not PBC, not as bad as PBC biased during their telecast.
But it was up there.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, like a lot of times I had to catch myself like, whoa, maybe I missed something. Like I start doubting myself, right? But no, watching the fight, even on those 2 rounds, like again, I know repeating myself, but I got a lot of 10 times out of 10, man.
I think so too.
I think he was more. I know that Warrington's corner was pointing at their chest or whatever.
They're hard.
Man, Lada looked way more pissed to me. He looked way more pissed, and I think that Warrington, like he was saying at the end, like something to the announcers, like I can't believe I let this guy knock me out. You're about to let this guy knock you out again.
We're about to get you again. And the thing I liked about it, man, and I liked about the whole show is I got to give props to DAZN for their incredible storytelling. Josh Warrington from Leeds, and it seemed they were trying to paint a picture of it's us against the world, and that's pretty much how the Leeds people are, like Leeds fans are. But on the Mauricio Lara side, very humble beginnings, like the part that he's from in Mexico. It's very how do I say this? It's very very simple, a simple life. It's out there in the ranch, and he trains. It's cold, and he has a cardboard box where he does his some of his exercises in, and then of course he has a nice gym that they train for the most part. Him and his dad out there in the mountains. That's where he trains, and it was pretty humbling watching him and his family and his wife and his kids, and it was. I enjoyed those part of the stories that DAZN did.
No, definitely. And talking about as far as the commentary, it's not knocking them because hey, I'm a DAZN apologist, but
I love
the thing I thought was kind of funny at the end of the fight. They were talking to Kid Galahad, who was on the
fight. He looked like he was out of it. He turning around everywhere. It's like he looked like he was
like people kept calling his name or something like hey,
Yeah, he's like, hey kid.
So, but he said something that was very telling to me because they were asking him like, oh, does this fight
rematch?
Yeah, does this fight make you want to have the rematch? And I think the truth came out. He was like, yeah, from what I saw, I have to take the rematch. I think that was a moment of truth because, yeah, I mean, of course, that's the fight. But I also with Lara, let me put this out there. I don't think it's just a fact of, a matchup issue. He's a problem for anybody, man. Yeah. I think he's a problem for a lot of fighters.
He has that hunger. That's the thing. He has that hunger to win. He's not there just for the payday. He wants to continue to build on. He's hungry. He's a hungry man, and you could tell by his physique. He looked in great shape, and he was ready. Do
you think that more Mexican fight fans, the casual, shout out to casuals, should be more aware of Lara and be more supportive? I mean,
after this Warrington, when hopefully Lara and Warrington 3 happens, I think right now Lara is something more of a cult following, for the hardcore boxers. But if he beats Warrington again, I think a lot of the Mexicanos will pay attention. Like, oh shit, we got this guy right here too over there beating up the UK guys. So yeah, he's on the right track, man. I'm happy for him. Watching the stories that they were telling, I'm happy for him. Hopefully everything goes as well.
Perfect. All right. So looks like we got another voicemail here. Come up.
Another voicemail?
Yeah. So
nice.
Let's go ahead and play this one. It's probably Manny calling in sick.
Hopper, you suck.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to call and say I love the EnVivo podcast show. I listen to all of them, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on a possible Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano matchup. Keep up the good work. Great stuff, Hopper.
Nice.
All right, man. Another vote for Hopper. But no, hey, that's a great question, and one I think that definitely deserves some input. So without further ado, my brother Hopper, what's your thoughts, man? Is
Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor? That fight has to happen. I know it was scheduled right before the pandemic to happen. I think Amanda Serrano withdrew something about her purse. She didn't like her purse, but that fight has to happen now because they're both getting up in age now. They're not young women anymore. But that's probably should I say the fight in the women's division? Maybe Clarissa
Okay.
Shields. Yeah, I think no. This is the fight for the women's division. This is the Mayweather Pacquiao. This is the Canelo Triple G. This is that type of level of excitement for this fight with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Gringo. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think Amanda Serrano takes it. She's just got too much power. 41-1-1, way too many knockouts. And Katie Taylor, as great as she is, her pop isn't comparable to Amanda Serrano. She's 18-0, 6 knockouts.
Right.
Amanda Serrano has 30 knockouts with either hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna go the edge to Amanda Serrano, and I'm gonna say stoppage. I think if the fight happens, I think Amanda Serrano can definitely stop her. Katie Taylor, like you mentioned earlier, she's definitely showing her age a little bit, and Amanda Serrano still has that pop. She fought last week, right, against right. Yeah, so and that was pretty controversial with the trainer himself talking trash to the Mexican woman. But that's if that fight happens. I'll be ready for it. If they put it on pay-per-view, I'll pay the pay-per-view.
No, definitely. I was excited, and it looked like they were on track because they had the contract signed between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. That was on the Usyk. She saw the undercard, right? That was the co-main event.
I think so.
Yeah. So that fight was about to happen.
We were all excited for it.
Katie Taylor was going to get $1 million. Amanda Serrano was going to get a $250,000, and then all of a sudden, Papa Hearn. Something happened with the deal, and the money was like cut in half for whatever reason, and then the fight just fell through. So all I know is that was like 2 years ago. That was like pre-pandemic before things got crazy.
Yeah.
Now that fight definitely has to happen, man, because you don't want to have one of those woulda, coulda, shoulda situations. Katie Taylor, she's 35. It'd be a big payday for her, and I think. She's a warrior, she's a competitor. She's a face. She's the brand, one of the big names in women's boxing. And if women's boxing wants to excel, like we want to see the sport continue to develop and gain fans, they have to take these type of fights. They have to take these chances, and hopefully she'll do that for the fans. But as far as your analysis, man, I completely agree. Because what I came with, if I have one word for Amanda Serrano, it would be versatile. Because she can fight so many different styles, so many different ways and beat you with power, tenacity. She's just got a real slick, boxing style that I can really appreciate. Well, when I'm watching Katie Taylor, I feel like she's predictable. Like she kind of comes one way.
Kind of sloppy sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like watching her last night, it seemed like maybe that's the way Jennifer Hahn just threw her off her game a little bit. But Katie Taylor at times last night, she didn't look so composed like Amanda Serrano did in her fights when she always fights. So. I agree with you.
Yeah, she looked at times. She looked kind of impatient and not allowing the fight to come to her. Maybe she was too pressured. Like, hey, I need to get a stoppage or make a statement, whatever it was. But I didn't feel like I was watching Katie Taylor at her peak. I think that's fair to say.
35.
So, it was showing.
Amanda's 32, so she's just coming out of her prime. So she's that's why another reason
They both need to take this fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the biggest money fight that's out there for them. Because I think they're both kind of small for Clarissa Shields, right? I don't think either one of them. Clarissa Shields is way too big. So
they both want that payday.
They want that payday if they want it. This is it for the Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor.
Yep. So let's go ahead and get into because that was an entertaining card.
That was entertaining. DAZN card. Shout out to you, DAZN. It was a great card from top to bottom. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the best part about it was during the afternoon. So when the main event was over, I still had my day ahead of me. So
I tell people all the time, man, like Saturday afternoon cards. I already got love for the UK. They're
love
the
it.
best.
Love it.
Best. Don't get me wrong. I get hyped for
Saturday night.
Saturday night, but the main event ending like at 1 in the morning,
fucking 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I hate that. I'll just be honest. I do. So afternoon card, sign me up, man. Any day of the week.
Man. It ended by what, like 4:30, 4:30?
Yeah, dude. You got the whole day,
and then you still got the whole day. You still got the whole evening ahead
Yeah,
of
you
you.
go out,
I
you know.
went up. We had a fantasy football draft party. My 6-1. I know. Don't laugh. 6 fantasy football
You're
leagues.
officially addicted.
Addicted. I think I am. I have a problem, but yeah. So that was my evening, and there's actually some boxing on tonight, Gringo.
Yeah, there is. So Fox PBC, shout out to them. You know, I got love for them. Al Heyman's picture is on my wall. Looking at me, shout out to you, Al. But let's talk a little bit about that. And yeah, of course, we love the Saturday afternoon card, but nothing wrong. Hey, nothing wrong with a Sunday evening card.
Hey,
right?
Sunday, yes, I'll take it, especially when we have a day off tomorrow. Jesus Ramos, he's moving up to the junior middleweight. He's moving up from welterweight. 20-year-old. He's going to be fighting Brian Mendoza, 19-1. Stiff test for Jesus Ramos. We'll see how he does there. That's the main event for PBC, and it seems like they love going to the Armory in Minnesota. A lot of their fights seem to be happening there on Sundays. So
Jamal James, shout out to Jamal James. Maybe Jamal James is a great host.
Shango
in the house.
We had him on the podcast. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's the third fight for Ramos. He's coming off a 10-round unanimous decision over Javier Molina in May. So in the co-feature, it's Starling Castillo. He's 15-0 against the Mexicano Juan Carlos Burgos, 34-5. I think at this point, Juan Carlos Burgos is, I don't want to say shot, but Starling Castillo should win this one. Juan Carlos Burgos, if you remember, I have him down for one of the worst robberies ever, and Manny's not here. He wouldn't have liked that to Rocky Martinez. That was criminal what they did to Juan Carlos Burgos that day. One of the worst robberies ever. Juan Carlos Burgos.
When you say his name,
beat up Rocky Martinez from pillar to pillar, post to post. So that's one of the worst robberies I've ever seen in the sport of boxing. So yeah, that's a 10-round lightweight bout. Starling Castillo should win that one. Juan Carlos Burgos is a little past it. And the opener is going to be Jose Armando Resendiz, 12-0, 8 knockouts against Marcos Hernandez, 14-4, right above the middleweight limit. So Resendiz, 22-year-olds from Nayarit, Mexico. So we got some Mexicanos up in the mix, and I'm excited for it. It's going to be on Fox. So right, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, PBC, a triple header on Fox. So tune in for that one. That's going to be exciting. Some more boxing, hell yeah, sign me up, baby.
All day, every day, man. Sign me up. All right, so let's talk about it, because you're being really modest about it, sir. But you had a meeting. Can we say that? You met with
it was a meeting. It was a Zoom meeting.
Yeah. Go ahead. So let's talk about that meeting. For those that don't know, so we did talk about it we had 2 recent podcasts, episode 95 in Espanol with Chari Chaviler.
Okay.
And that was a great episode. We talked about it also on episode 96, where we also were what were we talking about on episode 96?
That was mainly the all about the boxing showcases, big belt championship tournament that they're having.
Exactly.
I touched on the Zoom meeting that I had with WBC president Mauricio Sulaiman. Ooh, excuse me, name drop. So
get out the way.
No, but yeah, that was pretty cool. I was actually able to ask him a question as well. Kind of half joking, I asked him, because what it is the boxing showcase is having a tournament. It's 9 divisions, 8 fighters per division. It's going to kick off September 17th in Austin. Then the 1st of October in Mesquite. The third round will be the 29th of October in Houston. The 4th round would be in November in Laredo, November 5th. And the semifinals will be the 12th of November in Fort Worth, with the final in McAllen on the 17th of November. So 9 divisions for the men, 4 for the women. My ladies out there, my professional ladies, you're out there. If you need some shine on the 112, 118, 126, and 135 divisions, there's still plenty of spots available. Don't be shy. Give us a shout out. Holler at us if you need an introduction. We'll be more than welcome to introduce you to these guys. Hector, Christian, Don Jose, they're all running a great show. Great tournament. It's well organized, and it's backed by the WBC, so it doesn't get much bigger than that. But I asked Mr. Sulaiman, when the winner of this tournament, how soon can we expect to see them in the rankings? And he chuckled a little bit, and he went on to say that this basically gives you the welcome to the WBC organization, and it's a great opportunity to get your feet inside that WBC organization, get known, to position yourself for future rankings. And it's a great tournament to have. I'm excited for it. We're going to try to make it to as much as possible. I think we're trying to schedule a trip, maybe go to the Austin one since it's September 17th. Hit up 6th Street, party time. So, and no, but yeah. So it's be on the lookout for it, and it's all going to be on the WBC. It's going to be on pay-per-view via the WBC channel. So
awesome.
Look out for it.
No, definitely. And, another thing, like, for me that I really appreciate is, and you and I both know that sometimes we get so caught up in, a lot of these bigger fights, these bigger names. But even on the lower levels, man, it's hard for fights to get made, Shout out to Awedo Vasquez fighting at a Sweat Boxing gym. Got the ticker there at the bottom. If you're in Irving, Texas, off a 500 belt line, there's a great place for a great home for not just for boxers, but for anybody trying to get in shape. Led by Brandon and Hector Vasquez. What I was going to say about them is what I really appreciate is they do a great job of supporting and mentoring their fighters. But what I've learned through over the years is, man, it's hard for them to get fighters, like for fights to get made. So everybody wants to protect that. Oh, this the era after Mayweather, so they want to protect that. Oh, nobody wants the loss, and nobody wants a if they do lose, they don't want a bad loss. No one wants to, take a stoppage or anything like that. So I've learned pretty quickly that it's hard for them to get made fights. So I'm so excited for this tournament because it's forcing that action. People that are going to have to be forced to take more chances. What's your thoughts about that? And what do you think about
it's perfect because
single elimination tournament too?
Single elimination tournament. There's no losers bracket or anything like that. You lose, that's it. Your run is over. And actually, Jaime, with shout out to Jimmy Blue, All Access Elite, he actually asked a great question to Hector when we talk about just that, Gringo, that some of these guys don't want to fight each other 4-0 versus 5-0 prospects. They usually don't see that, but this tournament is gonna do that. You have to have the qualification to get in is you have to have a positive record, no more than 5 fights. If it's your pro debut, you have to have at least 40 amateur fights. So they're gonna be competitively matched. It's not that where who's going to win. The house fighter is 5-0, 6-0 or something like that, and he's fighting somebody that's 1-15 or something like that. So this is going to be a competitive tournament. And yeah, Jimmy Blue asked that question, and Hector touched on it. So be on the lookout or listen to the podcast, and you'll get the whole response.
Oh yeah, definitely the boxing showcase, the entire conference, the conference call was on Zoom, and it was on their, Facebook page. So yeah, definitely check it out and support them, man. This is a great thing. A lot of times we give a lot of hard time to these commissioning bodies, but hey, man, this is something good. We gave props last week to the WBA for what they're doing, getting ready that interim belt, and then this is, if not more exciting for me, having a tournament like this and then giving a true showcase, like the boxing showcase, like their name says, to these young fighters, male and female, is awesome. And then we get a chance to be a part of it. And it's going to be cool to go to different places. What place are you most looking forward to? Obviously, you said Austin, right?
Yeah, you already know. Austin. Well, the thing that I like about that date is that it's September 17th. My wife's birthday is September 19th. We were already kind of talking about going to Austin to celebrate her birthday. So, why not? Why not go there Friday, party it up Saturday night, and come back Sunday? We'll see. I'll talk to my wife about it, see how she feels. I don't know if I can sneak in a boxing event in her birthday weekend. So I'll have to see how that one plays out with the wifey. But she's cool. She's cool about it. So, but no, the one I'm looking forward to all of them. McAllen, that's kind of a drive. So is Laredo. But the other ones I think are very doable. Mesquite, Houston, Fort Worth. I think we'll definitely be at those. October 29th of October in Houston. Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. H-Town, that's where you're at, Gringo.
Yeah, man. Here in the H,
hopefully
doing it big. So,
Yeah, so-
one thing I wanted to ask, and this is kind of a tough question. We mentioned this on episode 96, our podcast, where we went into the boxing showcase and also touch on some other things too. But we started off acknowledging something very important. We talked about Jeanette Zapata. Anything else you want to?
Yeah, that's a sad situation. Sad situation all around, and I kind of touched on it a little bit when we did the 10-bell salute, but I know you mentioned it as well about the Mexican doctors that cleared her to go fight, and I don't even know what you can do about that in terms of clearing somebody. If they want to fight, you can find a doctor that's going to clear you, especially in Mexico. I mean, shit, man, it's not going to take very much to find a doctor in Mexico that can clear you. She had just got knocked out, and yeah, just tragic. 18 years old. 18 years old. Man. That's heartbreaking. It was a big it was a big loss for all the Mexican community. It's definitely going around. Everybody feels the loss. It's tragic. The boxing world in general.
Yeah, the thing for me though is we didn't go into great detail. We wanted to acknowledge it and give respect to it, and we actually put a clip on Instagram, and we're going to be posting the full video later up today, which will be on YouTube. But I'm a father, Harper's a father, Manny's a father. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's so heartbreaking. It's not even about the sport. It's to me about negligence and something that could be completely avoided. That how could somebody who was knocked out, and speaking of knockout, we got a special guest joining us, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mighty Max.
Yo, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
What's up, Mighty Max?
In the house, man. Yeah. Hey, brother. Yeah, we're actually talking about a little somber, but we would love your take on a lot of things that are happening. We're recapping the week. For those who don't know, Mighty Max has been doing it for a long time, man. He came out the womb loving boxing, talking the good, bad, the ugly of boxing. And, hey, he's got a strong opinion. He's very passionate but he's also extremely knowledgeable. So it's an honor to have you on, man. Don't let the smooth taste fool you, man. Mighty Max knows his stuff. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So what we're talking about right now, Mighty Max, is we're talking about the unfortunate situation with Jeanette Zapata and, her passing and how we feel it could have been avoided. And, this is just the ugly side of boxing. Not to bring you on to something so somber. But what's your thoughts on that and just the kind of the state of boxing when it comes to situations like this? Is enough being done?
Well, I heard that she passed away, and rest in peace to her and blessings to their family. I don't actually know the situation, though. I don't know if there's any foul play or what happened. All I heard is that she passed away. Can you guys just quickly let me know what happened, what went down?
Sure. So the fight itself was, everything was on the up and up. She was she had been on a 2-year layoff. She hadn't fought in 2 years because she had been brutally knocked out, and she had some she had some issues, right? As far as like some mental damage. But then she got called to do another fight after that in May, and she got knocked out again brutally. Right? That's where the issue is. So she went to some doctors in Mexico, and they cleared her, and they did, a test to verify if she was, good to go. And they said she was. Now there's also talk about too that there may have been some dehydration for her trying to make weight as well, and that could also lead to why maybe she didn't have enough fluid around the brain. So it's just like unfortunately a perfect storm for just a real bad situation. And then after she got hit by a combination in the corner, she went into convulsions, then a seizure. They put her on the ground, and then she went into a coma. And, then she passed away Wednesday of this past week.
Well, there's a lot of things, to notice about the situation. First of all, they probably should have scanned her a little better prior to the fight. This is a girl that got brutally knocked out a few months prior. So there's a good chance they were lazy at the scanning prior to the bout and let her go in with pre-existing injuries that we aren't aware of. Obviously, weight cutting, as we mentioned, fluid to the brain could definitely be an impact. I'm not quite sure what we can do to stop that. I really feel like there should be some sort of rule where if you're a certain weight above the weight limit, you can't fight in that weight class, so fighters don't be draining themselves that much. That could be a potential scenario. And, was it a fight where the ref had multiple opportunities to stop it? Like it was a late stoppage, or it was just an unfortunate situation where it was the first time he really could have stopped it. It was too late.
Yeah, it was one of those, and yeah, that's a great point. It was actually the first time where she was like clearly in trouble, and I could tell that the referee wasn't really sure what to happen because she got hit by like a 3-shot combination, and then she was still kind of standing. The referee jumped in at that moment, and then he waved it off. So I thought the referee did fine. It wasn't the referee. Yeah. I think it was prior to getting into the ring where that's where everything fell apart. It wasn't the referee. I know some people have mentioned that, but I thought they did a good job. I think they stepped in when they should have. And I think the issue was with her being cleared point blank. I don't think she should have been cleared to fight.
You get knocked out brutally a few months prior, and you're right back in there, That's why most fighters that get knocked out brutally, they take a lot of time off. They should have not cleared her to fight.
Right. No, that's a great point. Now, I actually heard something on a live with Elcano. Shout out to him. And I never really thought about this. I've always been a proponent for female boxing, I think, to get more limelight. I mean, for guys like us that love to watch fights, for the fights to be 3 minutes, right? For more stoppages, for more action. I think that'd be a positive thing to happen. Does this situation change your thought at all, or this is just an isolated incident that happened with unfortunate situation?
I've actually always felt the 2-minute rule was fine in my opinion. I know it's a bit of a controversial take, but I feel in a female fight they already go the 10 2-minute rounds. And you can already see these fighters, they don't really have the power to knock each other out. So if you make the fight longer, it actually gives a much higher chance of serious fatal injuries. So I honestly do think the 2-minute round system should apply, especially after seeing this type of situation, because these female fighters, they're always fighting a style where they're throwing a lot of punches, they're getting hit a lot. If you just prolong the fight and make it longer, I honestly feel it does put their health more at risk, in my opinion. So I do think this definitely hurts the case of getting 3-minute rounds for female fighting.
All right. Awesome, brother. So I can't let you get off here, Mighty Max, without this. Like 2 things. One, you're not scared to put out that controversial tweet, man. So you put it out there. I know my brother Hopper's going to appreciate this. What did you say about the Warrington-Lara fight? If the fight would have continued, you felt what would have happened?
Lara would have stopped him. Lara would have stopped him.
What a smart young man right there.
Man.
So that's what I was thinking too. The way, just even the first 2 rounds, just right off the bat, I felt Lara was landing the harder shots. Warrington, his style of fighting.
Way out. You could see their body language once the fight got stopped. Lara was all upset and pissed off, while Warrington was kind of like
relieved a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, phew.
It's funny because that's a great point to both you guys. One thing that I thought was weird, I mean, I'm not weird. I mean, they got a safe face, but, Warrington kept apologizing to the fans. And then he made a comment that stood out to me. He said, I can't believe, he said, I was thinking to myself when he felt the power of Lara in the first round, I can't believe he let this guy stop me. I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe you didn't get stopped again. What do you mean?
It's about to stop you. It's about to. I think it was coming.
Round 1 was a good Warrington round, but round 2 you could see Lara was upping the pace and Warrington didn't like it.
At all.
Lara was definitely going to get him out of there for sure.
And the way he rushes in with his head, throws his head all wild. And
some people actually think the headbutt was intentional. Not me, but I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. It wouldn't shock me.
It definitely throws. It was thrown in there with some salsa. He threw it in there with some intentions there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, Mighty Max, what's your thoughts on? Because we gotta talk about it. Because for those who don't know, Mighty Max and I have the same dream. How weird that is. I'm like 80 years old, but we have the same dream in boxing. We want a super fight between Virgil Ortiz and Jerome Boots Ennis. And I say that because is it fair to say that Conor Benn should also be in that conversation for a prospect at 147? Are you interested in him? Do you see too many flaws in defensively? Do you like his fire? What's your thoughts on him right now in the 147? Is he a name?
I like Conor Benn. I think he's a pretty good prospect, but he's not on the level of Ennis or Ortiz. I think Conor Benn is more on the Imantas Stanionis type of level of prospect at 147, just a tier below the main 2. So I would not put Conor Benn in with those types of guys as Virgil and Boots, because those guys are just on another level, in my opinion. And I do like Conor Benn. I think he's a good fighter for sure, and he definitely will be a champion at one point, but he's not on their level. However, I would, when it comes to Ennis and Ortiz, I'm going to stick with my pick that I've gone with since like 2018, because I've been wanting to see this fight for before Virgil or Boots were that big. I believe right after Virgil knocked out Herrera, I started asking for this fight, May of 2019. I've stuck with Boots winning this fight. I'm going to stick with him for a little longer. I'm less confident than I was before because Ortiz just keeps impressing me.
He's improving big time.
He keeps getting better, but I'm going to stick with my drawn Ennis pick, but I'm not confident at all. I'd probably go Boots by a majority decision.
Man, I see you. And that was on the Canelo Daniel Jacobs undercard, the Herrera fight. So
that was
man, you've been on that fight for a minute, brother. Damn. Yeah. Way back to the Minimax days. I see your money. All right, so okay, so I have. What about Rashidi Ellis? Where would you put? Where tier is he in?
Rashidi Ellis is a very solid prospect as well, but he's definitely not on Boots or Ortiz's level as well. I'm not quite sure if he's even on the level of a Conor Ben, to be honest. I like Rashidi Ellis. I've been watching him since the first time he fought. He fought this dude twice. I forgot his name, but it was that viral first round knockout he got. That's the first time I saw Rashidi fight, and since then he hasn't really been doing much. He's been put on the shelf a little bit. For Rashidi, I would probably put him against someone like Alexis Rocha next, like that rematch. I feel like that's the type of level he's at right now. Maybe have him fight Blair Cobbs because I see him beating Blair Cobbs.
Oh man, hey, that's a good name. That's a guy where it's weird. Like I think how he's being handled. Like they're developing him, they're bringing him along. Clearly, he's a name and people they recognize him. But I don't see him as a real threat to any champion at all. Like
he's not. He's
kind of there, right?
He's basically a poor man's Ryan Garcia, Blair Cobbs, the way he fights.
Wow. A poor man's Ryan Garcia. Man,
all offense, no defense, good speed, solid power, but he just does everything worse. Okay,
man, that's pretty fair to say. So putting you on the spot a little bit, Mighty Max, just real quick on this, real quick, sir. And this is boxing related, but not boxing related. I know you're a big fan, and he's a big fan of boxing, and you're a big fan of his. Will Damian Lillard ever win an NBA title?
Not with Portland.
He's listening right now.
I legit have
Shout out to you, Dame Dollar.
I have about 4 to 5 Damian Lillard shirts in my drawer. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm a big Damian Lillard fan. I've been wanting him to stay in Portland the last couple of years, but this time it's done. They're not trying to help you win. They seem like they really don't give a damn. They're not putting any effort in. They didn't get anyone this offseason. You guys aren't good enough. McCollum blew it last year, had a pathetic outing last time. Nurkic is injured half the season. So honestly, I want Damian Lillard to either go down here where I am to Miami Heat, Dallas Mavericks, Philly. Those are the types of teams I think he should go to next.
Man, all right. I'm gonna definitely use that as a drop. Make sure you
listening, Dave. You hear that?
Yeah.
Dave,
all right, listening. Hey, you heard it from the man, Mighty Max.
Heard it from Mighty Max.
Gotta hear that. So
Dallas jersey on.
So I like to go ahead and get ready to close this live out. We touched on some things for the week, but I guess the last thing would be because I really haven't heard your take on this because I guess there's really not much to say, and then we'll let Hopper have the last word. The whole thing was there's supposed to be that purse bid this week. Well, not this week, the second, and it didn't happen. Are you just totally over, Terence Crawford? What's your thoughts on Terence Crawford at 147 at this point? Has it been a complete failure? And is it a combination of variables? And do you think he's one of those variables of why nothing's materialized? What's your thoughts to this point? And will a fight that matters at 147 ever happen to Terence Crawford?
Well, I'm a massive Terence Crawford fan, actually. He's, say, my second favorite fighter in the sport. Big Terence Crawford fan. Love Terence Crawford, but Top Rank has done him no favors recently. They got him a couple decent fights at welter early and haven't done much since then. This will be his second fight in 2 years, assuming he fights Sean to end the year. That's not good at all. 2 fights in 2 years for a guy like Crawford who's aging. He's turning into Gary Russell a little bit, to be honest. And I'll tell you this. We already had to deal with fights being postponed and fights not being made. Why are negotiations getting postponed? I'm very fed up with purse bids always getting canceled now. We're not even getting purse bids now. I mean, WBO Paco, the guy behind the WBO, needs to toughen up and start enforcing this. No more postponing purse bids. If they postpone a purse bid, either Terence Crawford gets stripped of that belt or Sean Porter gets removed as number 1 in the rankings. I'm sick of this. They're being too soft. They're being too light. They're giving them too much opportunities to mess around and screw around and delay the fight. And I'm just sick of it. I'm fed up with it. And it's a shame because the boxing fans are the ones getting punished.
Damn, man, love the passion,
brother. That's a great take. Seems like they treat us. Why don't they like us, man? I don't think they like the fans. Why don't they want us to be there? So
crazy.
But But no, that's a great idea, actually. You know, either strip them or have them removed from the mandatory position. That's an excellent idea. I like that. I think that'll definitely get them heads in the negotiations going the right way. But you know, it's all about the mighty dollar. So that's what runs the game.
Unfortunately, that's the cards that we're dealt, and that's what we got to deal with. We got a comment here from LWBoxing. Shout out to him. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do. He does a weekly show at Kano Loco. Much love to him as well. WBO postponed the AJ Usyk purse bid, and the fight got done September 25th. So looks like that's a little hope, right? A little silver lining.
I like that.
Not
impressed. Max, I can tell by your body language.
We got something.
It's one of the rare times it's happened. One of the rare times. But the thing is, AJ and Usyk are willing to fight the best all the time. They don't get enough credit. AJ and Usyk both will always fight anyone, in my opinion. So I'm not surprised that they were willing to schedule that bout.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead because we're going to close it out. And thank you so much for jumping on, Mighty Max. How can people reach you and follow you? And they definitely need to follow. Hey, I'm anti-boxing Twitter, but if you're involved, I'll tolerate it. Where can they follow you on social media for these hot takes and this good insight?
Well, you can find me at YouTube at Mighty Max Boxing. And you can find me on Twitter as well, Mighty Max Boxing. That's where you can find me. I post on YouTube multiple times a week, and obviously I'm always on Twitter as well. So I appreciate you guys having me on. It was great talking with you guys, and we got to do this again soon.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Anytime, brother. Anytime. And hey, I appreciate your insight as always. I respect your boxing mind, and good stuff as always. Hopper, go ahead and close us out, man. What would you like to see this next upcoming week, or just what is your boxing dream?
Well, we got some boxing tonight, so I'm looking forward to that one. PBC on Fox, Jesus Ramos and Brian Mendoza. So I'm excited for that one. So anytime there's some boxing on, I'm definitely in there. So in the next week we have controversial Oscar Valdez. So we have him fighting next Saturday, and there's actually a couple of UK fights, Sam Egginton fights, I believe, and Philip struggle to pronounce his name, Philip Hrgovic. So we got some boxing lined up this week, and that's pretty much it, man. We'll be back next week talking about all the boxing.
Man, wait, hold on, man. We're forgetting something pretty big. I mean, all right, so we had Mighty Max on. We know that he's a big fan. We know you're his biggest fan. Somebody's birthday today, and you haven't shouted him out yet.
Oh, it's Xander Zaya's birthday. Completely forgot to give him a shout out. Feliz cumpleaños, Xander. Te la pases en vivo, 100%. Yeah, 19 years old. You're old, vato.
Man, he's getting up there, man. An OG.
No, old already, man.
So yeah, man, it's great. And I did say that was the last thing, but I had to ask this. You probably feeling kind of weird. Like, what do you feel like that Oscar Valdez is gonna be fighting? Like, you feel kind of like it is what it is. You're still a fan.
It is what it is, man. Yeah, I'm still a fan, but it is what it is. The boxing organizations found some kind of loophole, and they went with the WADA testing results instead of VADA, even though they signed up for VADA. It's a business, man. It's a business masquerading as a sport. The almighty dollar is what ultimately ends up talking. So Bob Arum, I think we touched on that on the podcast episode 96 or 97. So check that out. We've said our piece. Now we just got to watch the fight and see what happens.
Absolutely. So, to close things out, I just want to say shout out to everybody that's checking us out on the live or also later on the replay. Anybody that's sending a voicemail, we appreciate it. The comments, we appreciate that. Clarence McClain, shout out to you. LWBoxing, shout out to Mighty Max. Shout out to Esmeralda Ferrado. She's a big supporter of the live. We appreciate you, ma'am. Appreciate everybody. Shout out to Sweatbox Boxing Gym in Irving, Tejas on 500 Beltline. Really appreciate it. Good stuff as always. And, unfortunately, our brother couldn't be, but we are going to be here every week. We had a special guest today. Next Sunday we'll have somebody too. So we look forward to this, and we definitely appreciate you guys supporting us, and much love. I want to send one last shout out to Aladdin Martinez right now. He's battling COVID. He's in the hospital. So much love to him. I know he was close friends with Dickie Cole. He's actually the person who introduced me to Dickie Cole, and I know they were real close. So he's battling right now against COVID, and he's a fighter, and I know he's going to win. Much love to his beautiful family and his wife, Stacy Martinez, and we're praying for you, and get well, champ. And hey, that's it, man. That's all I got, man. That's I know my brother Hopper. He's about to be he's like to be in his 18th fantasy football league. So you got to do another draft. That man
it's only 15 leagues. It's not that many.
That's totally normal. Totally normal.
Maybe all 25 next year. So
hey, there you go. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys.
Enjoy your day off, everybody. Watch some boxing tonight.
Out.